Okay, so for the first post regarding my social media usage, my daily average, so my social media self-inventory, my daily average is about 2.5 hours, so close to what Alessio said. Which this actually did surprise me because I've recently, in the last few weeks, put limits on my apps. So I have them locked, and only my friend knows the password, so that if I overdo the time, I can't even unlock it myself because I don't have the password. So even 2.5 hours is kind of a lot considering I have locked a lot of my apps. So previously my daily average was around 4.5 hours. So I'm assuming that was probably, I think when I looked, it was towards the beginning of summer, or like midsummer. Still a lot. That's a lot of time. And my most used is definitely Snapchat, because that's the one that I don't have a limit on. So, and then TikTok, I do now have a limit on it. That was one of my most used, in Facebook, because I've had a limit on Instagram for a long time, so I resort to Facebook for most of my scrolling. So that's definitely why Facebook's up there and Instagram is not. And then also, like Alessio said, I have my phone on a lot for music when I'm driving, and I tend to drive. I'm always driving, it feels like, between work or kind of if I want to go anywhere, I have to drive over an hour or around an hour. So I always have music going. So my Spotify is also always up there. So that definitely contributes to my average screen time. And then kind of what Alessio was saying, I think it's pretty split between people who know and just don't really care, don't really make an impact. I think actually it's more on that side. I think it's more people know that social media has a bad influence, but they just don't care to make a change, because it's hard to break that kind of habit, and social media is so entertaining. And I think it's becoming more and more that way now that people are kind of, it seems like, getting back to, well, social media is destructive, and so more people know about it, versus I think it's only probably would be like the preteens or, very young kids who just don't know the direct effect of social media. So that's how, I think people are pretty aware of it. They just don't really care to make a change. And then as for me, after completing this module, I think I love how Alessio said, limiting screen time when you're eating. That's huge, because you think that you need to be doing something all the time. You need to be entertaining yourself all the time, when really you could just sit here. You don't ever have to be scrolling or watching a video. And even things such as eating, or when you're watching TV and you're simultaneously scrolling, that's so overlooked but so common, in me at least. So just doing things like that, being just present. And I can use my phone when I'm making a call or trying to text people or showing people, sending a video to somebody, but I don't need to, if I'm just sitting at an event and I get bored, I don't need to be scrolling. So I think being more just aware of when I'm using my technology, and then also the effect it has on me, after this learning module, realizing that when I'm searching, what I'm searching for is biased, and when I'm receiving links and receiving news from Facebook or whatever, that stuff is biased, and just not being so naive, I guess, to believe everything that I see, which I was cautious of before, but kind of knowing how intense it is now, it's definitely something that I want to be more aware of and more cautious of. So